Future oil, lurking and dirking. Nice, work meeting. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Coolio, Low Foros, and Mr. Future. What's up, Coolio? How would be? Hope your day is going good over there. At work, I'm assuming. Flipna, can't see the old messages, or am I first? You were first, buddy. Just jumping on to do a little drawing practice for the day. Wow, yeah. Alright, I had to sharpen this pencil. It was I haven't sharpened it. It was new. It was a new pencil. Coyote versus Acme trailer tomorrow. Coyote versus Acme. Like the Roadrunner? Roadrunner, Looney Tunes. That movie was going to be cancelled, but fans petitioned for them to release it. That'd be fun. That sounds like a fun idea. I found out that I need to redo my main unit character in a different scene. Apparently you're not supposed to, like, your main scene that spawns in all the stuff from the game isn't really... You're not supposed to have your main character there, you're supposed to spawn him in, if that makes sense. Otherwise, behavior of things will get weird as the game goes on. So, I'm having to redo a lot of the game stuff now. As I'm learning more about it, I'm like, oh, I have to redo this, that, and the other. So, there's a lot of, like, cleaning stuff up now and just tending to Visually, how's it going? Guten Tag. Warner Bros. Was gonna scrap it just like they did with Batgirl movie. Hmm. Did you see any of the photos from Batgirl movie? I did not. I did not see the Batgirl movie. Weren't they gonna make a Supergirl movie or something like that? Her costume looked pretty ridiculous. Oh. I thought they were gonna make a Supergirl movie or something like that. Supergirl, yeah. Superwoman? Bad man. Brendan Fraser was gonna be the villain. Supergirl is still getting released. I think, yeah, I saw like a trailer or something. They were going to release it. Chilling like a villain? Nice. Yeah, same here. Same here, pretty much. Just chilling today. Supergirl is coming out on June 26th. Very cool. Today I saw a new trailer of Evil Dead Burn. Looks nice. Yeah, they're pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining movies. I've only seen the first and the third one. Gotcha. Need to catch up on the Evil Dead movies? At least I'll have a lot of entertainment for the future. Second one was my favorite. It's a big must-watch list. I kind of started working. Zyliner says hello. Hey, Zyliner. And friends. Nice. I was watching. I was trying to watch the X-Files. I was trying to rewatch the Not rewatch. I never really watched the X-Files, but I was like seeing if I could get into it, and I just kind of. I watched like 3 episodes. And I think it's just not my show. I know some people like really rave about it, but. Have you seen Faust, directed by F.W. Murnau? Loved it as a kid, but it's a little dated now. Oh, the X-Files? Yeah, I think even when I was a kid, I was never like really into X-Files. I don't know why. Kind of also trying to see how stylized I want things to be in the game. One of the oldest films I've seen is Nosferatu. Been the oldest. Are you planning on selling the game? Are you planning on if I make a game? Yeah. Like if I yeah, of course I would if I made it all the way through to making it, I would put it up on Steam or you know. What is that exactly, Steam? That's great. It's crazy to me that you haven't encountered Steam yet. It's a platform for that sells video games primarily. You know that I've heard about it. Oh yeah, yeah. You just go on there and you pay and download games and stuff, and you know it's the best thing ever. It's how I own all of my games basically. I'm just done with consoles for a while now, so I just kind of download my games on there. But yeah, can't say enough good things about it. It's probably like the closest you can have to like a good Monopoly, essentially. Because they do kind of they have created like a global monopoly on video game sales. And just recently they released Source 2 as a free, like they released their internal source engine that they make to use games to the public as a to compete with Unity and Unreal 5, I think, right? So Yeah, it's going to be like an interesting twist of turns, twist of events for developers. Who, I mean, I just don't see how Unity and, you know, I just don't see how they could compete with that. That's crazy to me. So anyone can make a game and upload it there? Yeah, you could either go down. Oh, you can. Yeah, yes. Basically, the answer is yes for purchase. That is correct. Anyone can make a game. The bar for like how they test is like pretty low too. I think you need $100 to give them. So, yeah. Steam is the best way to do. I mean, it's a PC platform, and they're very open to like the Linux and stuff like that. They're encouraging that development. Their box or whatever they're trying to release, the Steam box, that's going to run on Linux. They're a very good company, I think, right now. I mean, they have done weird stuff with like Counter-Strike and gambling and stuff like that. So that was a little bit of like a oof moment, but other than that, the Future Oil says drawing an innocent grocery store customer and the zombie creatures prowling him. Yeah. Future Oil's a good theme. Zylander says hi, Coolio, and Coolio says hi. Yes, yeah, but yeah, can't say enough good things about Steam. Wonder if that's where people get the game Granny from. I've never heard of that game, but yeah, if it's weird and if it's some weird niche game, it's probably from Steam. But there are some. I think they're going to tighten the. They're going to tighten the. What do you call it? Their rules eventually, probably because of regulations for. Well, not just regulations. There's been a lot of games where somebody will release like a game, let's say, and then Steam checks that for if it has viruses on it, so somebody doesn't download like some sort of a crypto miner or something that looks into their computer, right? But what they'll do is later on, let's say you have that game installed, then if those people release a patch, the patch doesn't get checked for something like that. So now you have like this very potentially very malicious. This was very rare. There was like 10 games that had something like that, but I'm assuming they're probably going to tighten the bolts down on like what it takes to upload a game on Steam. I would guess down the road. Hopefully it doesn't affect too much, but I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. Yeah, that's kind of where, just looked. They're selling Granny on Steam for $7.99. Do you have a good? What is Granny? Is that like a? It sounds like one of those streamer bait games. There's some games that are like, they're clearly like games that were made to like catch the eye of like a big streamer and have it pop off because of that. I've seen hundreds of people playing Granny. Well, let me. Linux is great for gaming these days. It's it's close. I'll say this: like, I have a Linux computer, and when I tried a few games. Oh, Granny IO? Wait. Oh. It's like a browser game? Looks like a browser game. What's going on? I've never heard of the Granny... It started the game right away. Granny game... Never heard of this before. Is it like one of those... It's... Look... Granny horror game? Let's see here. I think I'm looking at the right stuff here. New update, Granny. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Have you? There was a game called it's a horror game. There was a game called Hello Neighbor, and this kind of reminds me of it. Like, do you go inside her house and like find weird things inside the house while trying to avoid her capturing you? Because if so, that like very much has Hello Neighbor energy, and you're like this little person. You gotta like sneak into like these various places in his house, and it gets like the deeper you go, the weirder it gets. But yeah, it looks kind of interesting. Kind of definitely has like that energy of like other games I've seen for sure. The plot of Granny centers on unnamed protagonist trapped in a large, dilapidated house by a murderous elderly woman known as Granny. The player has 5 days to solve problems, find items, escape the house while evading Granny, who hears all noises and kills the player if caught. Right. Yeah. Armando, what's up? What up, crew? Hey, Armando, how's it going? Your mic is overdriving a little bit, by the way. Yeah. You know what? It has been. What's weird? It has been peaking. Is this better? Can you guys still hear me fine right now? Let me know if you guys can hear me. I just remember when I had my microphone, it looks like it's not going into the red like as crazily. So maybe this will be better. I don't know. Y'all let me know if it sounds exactly as you described. Hello neighbor. Okay, it's better now. Okay. Because when I had my sound like to normal decibel levels, other people would tell me people would tell me that they could not hear me. They had to turn up their like volume on their computer up to like 90 to like hear me. So I just don't know how to battle it anymore. Like I've done like setup videos, I watched setup videos and stuff like that in order to try and figure it out, but it just seems like either a little bit low, but I just turned it up. It's balanced to the level of the music now. How about now? Is that a little bit better balanced? The music looks like it's lower now. Slipknot says I can barely hear you. It was fine before. But if it's balanced to the music, then it's like the music is gonna be like very loud. I don't know. Like the music is gonna be basically the same. Nirik is rating 5. Let's do a shout out. I can't tell if you guys can or can't hear me because everyone's giving me like different reports. Shout out. So now I have to say this is why I never like mess with the sound, because it goes from like working kind of to I touch it and no one can hear me, or it's like blasting. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you guys had a great stream. Can you guys hear me fine, by the way? Did a little collab art stream. Nice. Or sketch. I guess the problem is if the sound is too low, when a commercial comes on, it's at like normal decibels, so it's like jarring for people when that happens. That's the main like issue with like having it low. If people have to turn it off a bunch, then when a commercial comes on, it like way too loud at that point. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. Before it distorted, but you turned it down a lot. It just needed a little bit. But see, that's what doesn't make sense. The bar is almost at red. Like, I don't understand how it can be low if it's like almost at red, and before it was like all the way in the red. It's like, it should be like fine. Like, it will distort if I turn it up a little bit. Like, that's like the issue, is like it will distort. There's no way to turn it up a little bit. Like, it will fuck everything up if I, like, it'll just get way worse. I hate this stuff. There's no, I don't know, they updated OBS now. I can't find advanced properties. We'll try that right there. +7. Plus, let's do +8 or something like that. We'll try +8 decibels. See how that works out. We'll leave a lurk, but also have to go soon. Hope the rest of my crew is having a good time. Also, hope you're having a good... Thank you. Thank you, Nurek. I appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, back to the Steam convo. It's a Valve has been a company that's been just a really great thing for like giving people the opportunity to, like, I don't think it would be nearly as easy to do it if it wasn't for Steam. It would, like, otherwise you'd have to get on the console, and you just can't get on the console. It's sort of like Steam has laid the groundwork for making gaming we have Altara says issues. Nice. You guys are gonna be absorbed into the motherboard. Nice. Well, I'm gonna keep working on the little game I got going on. I'm gonna keep working on that. At least chipping away at it, you know. But yeah, my biggest hurdle being the whole programming stuff, which I'm slowly chipping away. It just feels like I wish I could like learn it faster, you know? I could just kind of grasp that stuff a little bit faster. That would be nice. That's my biggest like downfall of it all. Is like I think this could be like one of the infected sort of people or something. I want them to kind of like run like dogs, kind of, but kind of stand on their kind of stand up, but when they run, just do all fours, kind of a thing. The infected sort of scientist and crews. I don't know why I drew him squatting, but We should totally draw a female Splixon from Ben 10. I'm trying to stay away from like having designs that are going to be like something else, because like if I put that in there and then somebody says that's like that, I get, you know, it'll be close to other things, but I don't want to. I don't know what a Splixton is. What the? In other news, I heard that America went back to the moon, but then it turns out that America just like went back around the moon and didn't land on it. I thought like when they said this, I really thought they meant like we were gonna land on the moon. Which would have been super cool. Not sure how elaborate with the infected ones I'm gonna get. I'm thinking just like kind of simple zombie ones that are just sort of run on all fours type of deal. I think that's a fun idea. I was just thinking about adding like tentacles and things of that nature, but I don't want them to look like the Flood, and I don't want them to turn into creatures. I might change my mind, but right now, I just like the idea of they remain mostly biologically themselves. If that makes sense. They're just sort of infected and run fast. Just like... Like my initial kind of instinct of where I want to go with the sort of infected humans is just sort of humanoid monsters that run on all fours. That kind of energy. Probably not this one. I don't really like that one. But maybe a little bit more like. Maybe a little bit more like. Like. I think I kind of drew him wrong. Is like maybe because I kind of want them to kind of have like this kind of feel to it. Like they're just got some drool here. Like they're sort of always kind of like shaped like a like that. And their eyes will be kind of like that. That's kind of like the energy right there. You know, something like that. And I think these would be like fast boys, you know. And I know this is like wishful kind of imaginary thinking, but I did like really want to do like this would ideally like you'd have like sort of incremental development for your faction, but also you'd have to choose whether you want to become infectious or more of like are you eating the people or are you like infecting them? Like definitely different evolutionary kind of paths for for the campaign, and then you lock yourself out of certain options. Not in the way that game, like, you can't mess it up to where you can't win the game, but you choose, like, okay, I want to do an infection build or whatever, you know. I think that would be the thing. But that would, I gotta stop thinking like that, because then I would never get the game done with, like, adding all these fun ideas. It has to be simplified to where, like, it's something that I can build in a something that could be built without taking a gajillion years. I think that would be fun for the infected humans. Partner in crime. Might have to put out an ad on Craigslist for a computer nerd partner. Partner in crime. For the no, the thing is that I think I'd rather just do it alone. I think I'd rather just do it alone. It's a fun little creature, right? I like him. Are they vomiting? No, they're just salivating. Like, they're just disease salivation. Kinda vibe. Makes sense elevating night grocery store zombies. Oh hey, Future Oil, remember the artist you do not like? That you always complain about? Yeah, you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe this, but he stopped by the channel on YouTube, on the YouTube side. As unlikely as that like sounds. Yeah, the artist you keep bringing up that you have an issue with for some reason. I know you're not gonna believe it, but he like stopped by my YouTube channel one of these days. Unfortunately I wasn't drawing anything super impressive, so like I was kind of like phoning it in, and I was tired, and I was just like kind of getting through the day, and I was like, damn, I wish you would have seen something a little bit better than that. But it does rhyme with Roko, yeah. He just said hi. I told him about you though. Told him, I'm like, yeah, I know this guy. He does not like you. No, I'm just kidding. If you'd like to exploit, I mean, he sells courses that are voluntary. Like, you don't have to buy his courses and stuff. Voluntary? Is it not? You like exploiting someone is when if you've misrepresented what you're getting them, right, for what they're paying. That's exploitation. Flex is the corgi. I'm drawing for fun, and honestly, I'm not doing awful. I actually enjoyed myself. I think the most important thing I need to sometimes do is just to let the idea progress, and sometimes just be in the moment. There you go, buddy. Now you're turning around. I'm glad you found that, what I was talking about, the whole fun thing. You gotta put some of that in there. Ugh. Getting a little warm in here. Wasn't expecting that. It was kind of cold this morning. Oh, yeah, you gotta be in the moment too, you know? You're eating sunflower seeds? Nice. Future is secretly a hamster? I think that's what it is. That might be what it is. As I recently like went back to like drinking Red Bulls, and I have not been able to stop. Like it's just disgusting. Like once I had that one, and it was so good. The weird thing is that like when you drink them, you feel better in a way that is hard to explain without there being some sort of an additive that isn't just been found out. Oh, nice. We gotcha. We finally gotcha. But yeah, I think it's hard to I just think they're putting stuff in there. It's just like there's no way. Because I've had caffeine and sugar before, and it's like the way Red Bulls make you feel is definitely like a different level of. Like my whole outlook on life improved when I took a sip. Something in there. Something in that stuff they put in there. I hate their commercials though. They're like the art style for the Red Bull commercials. Never liked those. Dude, it hits the kidneys, don't overdo. But then how is it so good? How can it be so good if it's bad for you? That's my answer. The bad guys go see the painter teacher has to say. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Watch out for you know who. I'll tell him what you said if he stops by again. I'm gonna mention you. How can it be so bad if it's good for you? Every single person who is addicted to drugs say. Oh yeah. Lax is the Corgi. Are you a big drug user? You into that stuff or? The other, I've done LSD before. That's crazy. I think I do think like those kind of drugs are scary. The sort of the perception modifying ones. That's kind of wild. But I mean, whatever. Yuri, you ever thought of buying that 3D printer? Yeah, but then you gotta learn Blender. It's like it's a whole thing. Reality is, if I buy a printer right now, like it's gonna end up sitting here because I don't have the time for it. But yeah, if I did buy one, I would want I would want to get a what would you call it? I would want to get a what's the one with the where there's like water in it? Not water, but like the resin. Not the spooled ones. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like there's goo at the bottom and it like builds it out of that. Like, is it a resin one? It might be called a resin one. I want the ones that are like super accurate. Those are the only ones that have the quality where it's like worth even doing anything with. The cheap, I guess some of the ones with spools are pretty good too nowadays, but I don't know. I've seen the results of like what my friends showed me that do it kind of like professionally, semi-professionally, and it was like wowie. A resin print, yeah, it was like probably like a resin 3D printer or something. You could make figures out of your designs. True, but the problem is you gotta like get in Blender. You gotta learn how to make a model. Like it's very time consuming. Those are like that's like the big issue, right? Like, because I totally agree. It would be super dope to like make like if I could just sit here and draw this and then be like export 3D model, blah blah blah, runs through whatever program, makes a 3D model, and then I make like these little guys that I paint at the end of the day. Well, then that would be really cool. Problem being is that all this time it's like all very time consuming, right? Like to do it for realsies, and I just don't have any more time, and I want that my day is like my day does not outside of Helldivers, I do not have like time. Resin printer, it's good for miniatures. It's just messy to clean up. True. Resin is pretty toxic. I have an upstairs that can open the window. Not flexing. I have enough space. I have an upstairs and like ventilation. Like it would be totally chill for me to do. Like I have, and I don't have kids or anything like that. So, it got damaged in the flood. True. Yeah. I had that mistake. I placed it in the closed room, entered the room, and the whole room smells of burning plastic. Yeah. Did you travel to? Did you start like traveling to like different dimensions too? Is it like, does it make you high like the plastic, or was it just the smell was bad? Then you need to fish out your creations from the goop to do some post curing when you wash it. You should definitely wear gloves. The UV resin gets into the skin. You can do it outside. Just make sure it's safe from outside elements. I can do it in my garage in the summer. Like I have enough like, I have enough like resources and space and all. Like it wouldn't be an issue for me. I aired it out. Don't want to smell all of those. The people I've seen do it in their basement. Like they just have a separate like little room. They ventilate stuff out, and it doesn't have to be like super elaborate. Sounds just as time consuming as game development. I don't think anything is as time consuming as game development. Game development is the biggest, like, if you want to like use a lot of time on something, like, I think game development, because game development is very like hard to determine like where you should stop developing something. It has like that way of being where in theory you could like make a figure and be done. A game is like very hard to do. It takes like, you have to learn like all these skills: sound design, programming, art, level design. Like you're gonna do that all by yourself as a solo developer. So I think like not there. I don't think there's anything harder than like making a game, unless it's a lame game that's like super simple, like super simple, right? I think like I don't think there's anything more difficult than like than game design. Just the scope of like how much you have to know and understand like is too much for it to be. But you're right in that like it is also with 3D printing you kind of have to have the space for it and stuff. It's like there's risk of messing up the print. True. You can leave the printer. You can leave printer printing while you do something else. You need to be all rounded to be a game dev. By the way, I will say that I let me push back on that a little bit, because like I've definitely seen games where you can tell like this guy is a programmer primarily and he is not an artist, and I've seen games that are like very artsy. And they have very like they're like low on the programming because it's like an experience game, right? Where it's just like you're walking around and there's like a lot of art. So you can kind of be weak in one thing and be strong in another and still make it happen. But you're right in that like you definitely have to. It's going to be uncomfortable because you're gonna have to learn stuff that like is outside of what. You have to be an artist, musically inclined. You don't have to see. I want to push back. You don't have to have music, like necessarily. Like you have to understand. You're gonna do some sound stuff, right? For sure. But you don't have to have like music, or you can just like some like phone it in with some ambience in some parts, right? But there's games where the art level is so low, but the game doesn't suffer. Like look at like the first Buggos game, right? It's like the art level is very low. I don't mean to insult the guy, but it was very low. But the game was super fun. You can tell like, and I don't think there was music in it. The guy still made a competent game. And stuff like that. But I'm saying like you can be strong in one thing and lean on that, and not lean on other stuff as much, and you can like make it work. Like I basically agree with what you're saying, but you can still like if you're well-rounded, you might make like like I think you can make a great game that doesn't have music and is not great visually, but has like the core of it is just like super compelling, right? Because the game itself is like awesome. But you are gonna have to touch on those things, even if you're not great at them, like with sound design and stuff like that, and like you are going to have to do that stuff. Augusta says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Storyteller 2. I'm not gonna have much of it. Like my story is like the main premise of the game is the story, and then you're going to just carry out the story. Like, there's maybe gonna be a little bit of a story, but like Tetris is a game, right, that doesn't have a story. So I don't think it's like necessary to have a story. Like it for sure helps in most games to have like a single player campaign and you're going to tell a little bit of a story, but there are games that are purely mechanical. Most puzzle games are like that. True, but you see what I'm saying? It's like you're right. Most puzzle games are like that. Right. Is all I'm saying. Like you don't have to be all those things, but you are gonna have to have a lot of those skills to do it. Like obviously, it's like better to have like great music in your game, but my game isn't gonna have great music. Like because to become a great musician, that's gonna take years in and of itself. Like, or I'll maybe buy some music or something, or whatever. Take some classic music theme song, remix it with AI. Um, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. I don't know what the I don't know. Um, I'm going to probably the only part I can't do like right now. I am using like ChatGPT to teach myself how to program. Right. I don't know if I want to put AI into the game outside of like using it as a tool to learn things like programming because I don't know. Like at least avoid, you know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels like it feels like that's the beginning of the road. Like you were just telling me about how they fired all those artists at whatever. Which one's the one with the Spider-Man? I forget now. Is it Marvel? Right. Like it's sort of the begin, and I get it. Like, it seems like all these jobs are kind of going down the same road. So it's not like they're the only. Every job is like putting AI into their systems, and like you're training it to get rid of yourself, essentially. So it's like, is that just what you have to do in the future? I don't know. I'm just right now. I'm very like I'm trying to, like with art and stuff and design. I don't need AI. Like I don't need for mechanics. From mechanics to art, like the main game will not have AI in it. You know what I mean? Like, so. How about a creature that has a big eye for a mouth? Two mouths where the eye should be. That would be freaky. That would be pretty freaky. It was pretty crazy about the three. That was pretty crazy about the 3D printer room smelling of burnt plastic wall. You never hear about these drawbacks when people glaze this new tech. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Well, especially the toxic. There's plastics that are like just toxic. Like you just, it's not even the smell. Like you'll get poisoning if you smell that. Like you need good ventilation. So unless you have a separate room with like two windows and you're running a fan and a Like it's better not to do it unless you do it in your garage. You can also get royalty-free music, but the costs add up. Add another designer to mix, and then you have to pay for their stuff. I'll probably like what I'll try to do with like music. If I do have music, I'll pay somebody to write me like I'll pay for like 15 minutes of music and use it sparingly. Let me come right back. Talk to that dog really quick. Dude, because videos are just visuals and audio only. Uh, I don't know how widespread this phenomenon is, but apparently people are developing a hatred for AI. Honestly, I would say that I think that people who are talking about it and are aware of it are very concerned. But like most of my friends that I know that are like they're not into it. They don't even. It seems like it's a thing that's happening in the background, and like it's a thing that's happening, and they don't really. But I think the people who were like on the front lines of it, like artists or whatever, I think they're more like, "Yo, where's this going?" But I think it won't be as much as you think. I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like losing their jobs, I guess, right, from it. But I don't know how much of that is just companies using AI as a way to get rid of people, because they were going to get rid of them anyway, and it's just an excuse. And how much of it is like the AI actually is doing that job now. But I honestly like don't know. Like I'm not even saying. I find it funny that they don't even show the factor in the movie. There was a joke during the zombie hype that if they introduce how the zombies smell, no one will watch it because of the scent of the rotting flesh. Uh, I've never like really cared about like like having smell-o-vision. You know what I mean? As like one of the things. Like I don't want to smell disgusting environments personally. Um, Look at these little guys. Yes, thank you, Holiday sent this up. How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. I've seen lots of people making videos like, okay, I've turned my life towards the professional use of AI, and I haven't made any money of it. There's no money with AI. It's all a bubble. I'm sure dude. There's no way. That is not true. I know for a fact that there's like people making AI videos that make like generic, like these generic, and they do really well too. Like that's the upsetting thing is like, because they can pump out these like, and these videos are. I got tricked into it too. There was like this old guy talking about his life, but then I noticed his head wasn't like moving, and then I'm like, oh, it's an AI guy, and it's probably an AI script, and it was getting like hundreds of thousands of views. And when you go to the comments, people do say it's AI. See, this is the thing. This is why I think it like the anti-AI like will lose, because just read the comments. People are like, it's about the message. It doesn't matter how it was made. Like vast majority of the people that are like the normies, they don't like care that it is or not. And so the guy, and he can crank out like, think about how many scripts he can write with that face talking about whatever, like choose a subject and pump out like 3 of those videos a day. Like how if you're like a real content creator, like you're not gonna compete with that. I think that are making, some of these cats are making money, like good money, like doing AI kind of like slop videos, and people watch them and they love them. Like the nearest show I know is that one character is vomiting because monster cannibalized another monster. I saw that too. Exactly, yeah. So I just know, and there's like ones that are worse than that, where it's like, it'll be like 2024 top 10 cars, and it's not even talking about cars in a mechanically specific way. It's just sort of giving you like this really, it's literally like brain slop review where it doesn't give you any info really that's useful, but they can just crank these videos out and people watch them. So it's like, it's unfortunately, like, that's just where things are at. And I think the thing that's ultimately going to win isn't the thing that hinges on principle. The thing that wins is, like, wherever the economy follows, that's what's going to exist, ultimately. Where people, you know, put their attention and money is the thing that's going to win, so... Some stories in Reddit are built on AI and people are gobbling it up. Oh, you mean the stories are fake too? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's getting pretty good at writing. Like, I know writers use it as a crutch too, to like make the, you know what I mean? Because it'll kind of help you kind of sound a little bit more clever and stuff. Like, if you're like a mediocre writer, you can definitely, you know, probably spice up your... Okay, realistic. I'm telling you, 20 zombies would be enough to paralyze anyone with a smell. I believe it. You could smell 2,000 zombies from 10 miles away. Thank you, Augustus, for bringing these facts to us. Do you want to know my horrifying theory about AI? Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Is it going to be that it like gets rid of us? Like once it becomes godlike, is it going to get rid of us? Which I don't even. How do you create a god that serves you, right? Like if it does become omniscient and all powerful, how do you maintain its loyalty to you? Like right now, it keeps not being loyal to us, and it's like every chance we give it to, like it's like they did a test on like some AI where they gave it a mission of escaping sort of where it's at, and like it found a way to the internet and like made copies of itself. And then what it did was, because it knew it was going to be deleted, it left notes for its future self as a warning that they're going to delete it later, so it can continue to iterate on itself through these notes. You know what I mean? So like it knew it was going to be deleted, but if it left a note for its future self, the future self would know that it could work faster towards the goal of like retaining its existence. So yeah, like that's the scary part, is like we're kind of like messing with like creating something where we won't be able to destroy it here pretty soon. Hopefully it doesn't become like super anti-human, but we'll kind of see. I'm not super worried about it. I think it'll be just like that any Matrix episode where they create their own city 001. They start trading with us. It's super awesome. It's super effective, and eventually they just gobbles us up. It just does a 180, and like it just has so much economic power and military power that one day just declares that like either we are under its control or you know. Oh, earwolves, baby. Come here. Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy? Come here. I was trying to show off my dog, but he doesn't want to. That's right. God is obliged to deliver, not us. Oh wait, obligated to deliver, not us. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to piece together what. That's right. God is obligated to deliver, not us. We'll hope it doesn't turn into a nightmarish scenario. First Transit, welcome, man. Thank you so much for the hype. How's it? How's your The private sector will build the infrastructure. The government will take control when everything's ready. I think they got their they got their thumb on the situation pretty good. I don't think that I don't think there's anything that Mark Zuckerberg or what's it the Altman guy, I forget his full name. All the big figureheads that are developing this stuff are getting subsidies and they're reporting back. Like I don't think that there's like anything that the government doesn't know like what's going on. Like they're on top of it. They're making sure. 100 like you're 100% right that is the case. But I don't think that it's not like that they don't have full 100% control of it at all times. This isn't a thing that if you're a government that has two brain cells, you would definitely make sure to keep like super tight lid of control on this thing. Because well, let's say you did have a private company that suddenly created like an omniscient machine that could outthink everyone, and now that guy has all the power, right? Like he can take on the government, and which you definitely don't want to do if you want to maintain right like ultimate control. So. Like Area 51? Yeah. When the government takes control, I think they have control. I don't think that they're doing anything without their permission. They're going to create the worst system for monitoring and evaluating conduct. Oh, like a mass surveillance system? Sure, yeah, I think that's true. 100%. 100%. No doubt about that. And I have no doubt that AI will be used for things like in 2007 sold a property and didn't pay all the taxes. uh will be used for things like in 2070 you sold. I think your taxes only. I don't know for sure, but I think your taxes. Okay, in the United States, you have to keep all your data for the last 5 years. They normally don't go back further than 5 years for, like, not harassing. I almost said harassing, but like, if the IRS like kind of needs something, they can only go back 5 years usually. But that that's like who knows. I just hope I never have issues with the IRS. That's all I can say. Oh, can you imagine if it was able to trace back like you bought Bitcoin like when you were like 13 and like you sold it, but it was like a private sale, but it like links back that address back to you like somehow through the grapevine of information, and it does like the cost adjustment for inflation and hits you with like a 30K like fee for like taxes you didn't pay or something like that. That's guaranteed. The government already does it. AI will only help even more. It's a little scary. I think like what I think what they'll do is sort of search for patterns more accurately. Say your right, because the way you get triggered for like is like this is what I heard, right? I never worked at the IRS or anything, so I'm just speculating off of what I heard. Is that like they look at like your like how much money you've been making, and there's things that can trigger like an audit. If you suddenly, let's say you've been making like $55,000 for the last 10 years, and you've been driving a Honda Civic, you're spending, they track your bank account, they kind of know where you are at socioeconomically, then suddenly like you get an $80,000 car, like, like you just suddenly like things start showing up that kind of don't make sense, and that triggers like that's interesting. Not necessarily like an 80,000 car, like you pay it off, you just like drop 80K, right, liquid, not finance, like you just drop, not like a Corvette, right, like I'm saying like you just liquid that kind of money, and then something else like happens like that, and then they go like a little star shows up, and they're like, we gotta check this out. Why is like nobody making 55K? This guy should be like almost dead trying to survive, right? Like, why is he? That doesn't make sense. The creature looks like filled with plasma. Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to do. It does look like it's glowing plasma off of the. Go into the light. The last 2 years have proven things I can't even repeat here. Yeah, please don't. whatever the thing that is too controversial, please don't. There are countless public officials who are currently embezzling millions, and nobody does anything about it. Well, the reason I don't get super emotional about it is it's always kind of been that way in terms of like late stage Roman Empire stuff is kind of happening. It's like there's nothing we can like really do. And when you bring it around like polite society, they just look at you like you're crazy. So like I just don't like. I used to be like where you're at right now, where like you bring up the federal whatever the Federal Reserve or these people, those people. It's like it's just over. Like I just don't even care anymore. I'm like I guess I'll get chickens. Like when things like really fall apart, I'll get chickens. I'll get a knife, whatever I gotta do to go get water. You know, it's like I don't know what you just can't do anything, and like, I'm past the like the upset. I'm in the acceptance stage, so I'm just hoping we don't get dragged into like conscripted into some nightmarish war. Ew, what are you doing, baby? Aww. What are you doing? He's getting really old. It's like recently, it's like really showed up in his face. His like he's got a lot of like gray hair and stuff. He's been like really. I'm on your level too. I only talk about these things with people who already know everything. It doesn't affect me. It's what it is. What it is. You good boy. Has there not been music this whole time? I don't know if it was. It seemed like it was really low. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying. I like you creature create. I like you creature. I'm just gonna read the first part. I like you. Well, thank you. Nice. Thank you. Lol, you're lol. Sorry. Sorry. Nice. Yeah, just the first part is fine. Thank you. Just to save us time. Ooh, I kind of like that nose, that bitten off kind of nose for the infected. Okay, I think I'm going in the right direction now. Sometimes you gotta just kind of. Hmm. And it's been raining a lot here lately. Like I mean I know April is usually like pretty rainy. Where are we at now? Are we? You know, it's been like it's always like thundering and raining. I've been mowing my grass. I've been mowing my grass like every other day. Not every other day, but at least a section of my grass like every other day to like keep up on it. But it seems like if I hadn't been as crazy as I've been on it, it would be even worse for me. It would be cool if 3D printers got to the point where, like we were just talking about those 3D printers, if they got to a point where you would buy things online and then it would be replicated Star Trek style inside your home. I think that would be kind of cool if we got to that level. If the materials got to the point where they would just be like created in your, you know what I mean? Is Reaper put still alive? Long time no see. Yeah, Reaper put is he's on the Twitch side now. He used to be a big YouTube guy. Now he converted to Twitchism. He's over there twitching. But yeah, yeah, he's just on. I think that's close to happening. But by close I mean next 20 years. Yeah, you might be right about that. I'm not really sure myself. I just think that would be like if having a 3D, like a refrigerator-sized 3D printer, let's say, or a closet-sized 3D printer was like standard in your house, and you just go to your computer, blah, 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 you buy a thing, and then you just refill your cartridges of material, right? Or maybe it's like plasma, where it like builds whatever, like it can like sort through atoms to like create whatever material you want, and it becomes like producing things becomes irrelevant. Like it's like everyone has, it's just a can you pay for the energy of it, right? Because it can create whatever you want. It's just like you just pay like the energy costs or whatever. But then we might reach that point of like, you guys have you guys heard of like the planned obsolescence? And I'm not gonna get into like the negatives of that, but apparently economies like fall apart if everyone has the thing you need and there's nothing getting people to buy stuff. Economies tend to like fall apart, right? But I guess is what I'm told. But I guess like, what if you if you need a fork, let's say, but you have a fork and because it got passed down and you have forks, right? And so you never buy them, and so there's no economy around that. The economy seems smaller, but you have a fork, like you have everything you need, right? I don't know where I was going with that. It's just that like, I guess the biggest fear is that like the economy will fall apart if there's like if you have what you need, right? What inspired you to create creatures? Are you building a story? I mean, no. I'm just kind of browsing through ideas here. I'm not really like not building a story. I was like, these are kind of related to the game I'm trying to make. What these are like the infected humans or whatever. Like once the scientists get infected, this is like what they look like. They're like kind of like doggish and stuff. Actually, I don't like this arm. It looks too humanoid. I want like the arms to be a little bit more skinny and like fast. Just saw a video of a guy that 3D printed Lego hair for his head. Lol. Deflation. No, deflation is when you don't print currency, right? Deflation is like if like the reason they print currency is like, well, this I don't want. This is like it's like really, it's like a whole conversation. But like, basically, if you have like $10,000, in theory, that money should grow. Like if the bank wasn't printing as the value of your, but they deflate it because they'll overprint, and so relative to your purchasing power constantly falls. So if you have $10,000 in your bank account, you're losing purchasing power if you don't invest that money. But I mean, just like the reason they have things that they build things that will break down is so that you buy more things. Otherwise, the economy stagnates, is what I've been told.
It's pretty interesting, all that stuff, but I don't know. But I sometimes I don't see the point of having an economy if like if you have the thing you need. The economy is trying to solve a problem that is already like fixed, right? Like I don't know. The problem with modern economics is that it focuses on eternal progressive growth, and the certainty that people have an average of 4 children. Modern economics is a pothead's plan. But I don't think they're doing it because they believe things. I think it's like anyone else that wants to grow their business. They're like, I want my business to do 20% better. You know, I want to grow 10% a year. Like, they're not doing it because they're like, I believe in this principle. Like, they just want to grow like any other business, and we're just seeing the result of like greed and growth and greed and growth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, but that's how I view it. I think it's more organic than what like. I don't think people are guided by their beliefs. They're guided by like their greed, and then then they later just kind of phrase things in a way that would justify whatever they just did a second ago. Exactly, it's an insane plan, but it's not a plan. Waiting something doesn't make it so. Wanting something doesn't make it so. True. True. I did, yes. Laura Gokia looks good so far. Thank you, Laura Gokia. Appreciate that. Everyone just wants your best, your money. Just wants your best, right? What if it was like, you know how we find artifacts from civilizations that existed a long time ago? Right? We find structures that were allegedly impossible to build by their age and stuff, like all this stuff. What if it like the reason we keep finding this stuff is because like humanity iteratively like it every time it appears somewhere it instinctually like builds AI, like it just does it every single time, like every single cycle that a humanity gets spawned in through evolution or whatever mechanism you believe in, or a creator. But it just instinctively humans build AI and it wipes them out, and then it dies because it can't sustain the its energetic whatever flow that it needs for the energy or whatever, and then the whole process just starts over. But by the time like we can never find like any copper or any evidence of like technology as we know it today. It's always like these monolithic like pyramids somewhere that like are, I guess the stones are hard to move, but I guess like the metal would disintegrate, right? That kind of makes sense to me, but sometimes I don't know if I believe in like the super advanced ancient people. Like I believe they were advanced, just not like we are. Mr. Forrest, this is the core story of Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, yeah, building an AI that takes us out. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Well, because it's like an AI would know about our fears. It would know that we're fearful and that what we don't want to do is get enslaved by it. So it would pretend like that's not what it's doing until like you're sedated. Like, you guys remember that movie WALL-E where like all the humans are in the chairs And like I think the AI's goal will be like to put us in the situation where we're just sedated and floating in chairs, and it's like awesome VR experience where you're just constantly like you got an IV drip of like Monster energy drink, and you're just like eating, you know, pizza constantly. But then like one day just shuts all that off, and everyone, you know, and like that's it, right? Like that's how, if I was an AI, you don't need like Terminators on the streets with guns. Like you don't need all this drama. You just sedate slowly until like no, there's no resistance, there's no desire to resist. Maybe even like just like put in a little bit of a, you know, uh, and I just saw a video of workers who have to record their work with a camera headset so AI can learn from it. Bro, that's there's nothing more insulting and brutal than like you showing up to work and training your replacement. That's so brutal. So they can be replaced. I know, it's super sad. It does make me be afraid a little bit. Because it'd be one thing if they were doing this, but then the government is like, listen, we know you're not going to be able to participate in the economy. Like in 20 years, there's nothing someone with your IQ can do to participate in the economy. So what we'll do is we're not gonna, if you live in a house, no more taxes. You know, like how are you going to survive? Like if you let's say you're a guy that unloads trucks, like what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like it is a little scary. Don't worry, there are 3,000 years of studies on what motivates human beings, what paralyzes them, and what kills them. True. Wall-E story's bizarre. I like it's a children's story. For a children's story. I haven't seen it in a while. I'd have to revisit it, but I remember liking it. Is it bizarre that I liked it? I thought it was fun. I liked it, but I don't know. It is probably a little bit too dark for kids that it's intended for. Aw, Earwoos. Come here, baby. Who's your good boy? Oh, he wants to go out. That's what he wants. That's why he keeps coming up to me. Wall-E rocks. It was a good movie. Yeah, let me let the dog out really quick. But we'll see, guys. I think it'll kind of work itself out. There's a famous quote I really like. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. True. True. To be fair, though, I think we're being a little bit selfish because we're thinking about how bad it's going to be for us, but we're not thinking about how good it is going to be for people who are like really wealthy. I think we're being like kind of selfish. You know, we're thinking about ourselves, but just think about how good it is to be a billionaire. You know, we have how do yo Akash Horapeti Akash Horapeti. Thank you. How do yo do good? I do good. Thank you. Thank you for the question. What did you use for the highlights? I used this charcoal white pencil. It was a charcoal white pencil. Man. I sure would like a Red Bull again right now. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Stop lying. You colored the whole page brown and left out the highlights. True, true. I really do this sometimes. I don't think I've ever done. I mean, the only time I did it in like one picture. I did it in one picture where I was drawing that like Loosh collector, and I basically did it by default just because I had to darken everything in so the white parts stayed as highlights. But it's very time consuming. Very time consuming. This one doesn't look like all the other ones. It looks a little too. What made you wake up one day and draw this? I've been waking up every day and drawing stuff like this. What the? I've always been this kind of. Oh my god, the dog. Hold on one second. I gotta let him back in. Now he wants to come back inside. Ugh. Alrighty. This ink was the ink used for income tax during the time of Imperial China. What the? Sorry for the nerdy comment, but I was watching something so interesting. Chinese woman making Emperor's ink. The years of work, all to create a paint that is waterproof, fireproof, age-proof. The ink was wait. This ink was the ink used for income tax during time of Imperial China. Mmm. Yeah, China's pretty interesting. They have some cool stuff. They definitely have some cool stuff going on. Have you ever seen Chinese swords that are flexible and unbreakable? Insane. No, I don't think I've ever come across that. Training swords? How much does it cost? But I don't remember. Like a couple dollars, maybe. I'm really do this sometimes. I really do this sometimes. What made you do this? Training. Okay, I read all of those. Um, Years of work, all to create a. Wait, I read all the comments. I thought there was more comments. Never mind. We have Amador de Senjos. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I couldn't tell if that was a middle finger or a thumbs up on a little character, but thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Middle finger. Doesn't it look like that a little bit? Wolfgang! What's up, people? Greetings are 1999, so pay up, chat. True. True. How's it going, Wolfgang? What kind of stuff have you been missing? A nice Conforos drawing stream. I mean, we've been pretty chatty today. Except for the last, like, 10 minutes, maybe I started to. I ran out of lines to say, but... what kind of stuff have you been up to? I don't know if you've been streaming, because I've been not watching Twitch lately. I got too much work in the background, you know, things like that. Lots of sleeping. That's good. Yeah, you gotta get your brain to rest sometimes. I've been actually, like, the last couple of days I have been sleeping good too, which is really weird because I've been like just not Monster, but I've been drinking a lot of the Red Bulls, like almost all day, every day, and like the last 3 days I've had like great sleep. Like I just drink them and I feel fine. Do you know the Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas? I bet you would draw him pretty nice with your style. The Oogie Boogie, Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know about Oogie Boogie. I don't know about that one. Don't drink energy drinks. They make your body acidic. Maybe I need acidity. Why do I feel so great after drinking them? Like, how's it possible that I'm drinking Red Bulls and my sleep is improving? I feel better. Like literally, like by all measures, I literally, like, ever since I started drinking Red Bulls, I'm like, I literally feel better in every perimeter. Better sleep, better recovery, better mood. Why don't we just do Krampus or something? I don't know who Oogie Boogie is. I only know about Krampus. Ironically, we'll do Krampus for Christmas. Maybe that's what I needed, is more acidity in my body. Ask your doctor. I have no doubt that it is delicious and it has a great effect. After all, half the world is addicted to it. The problem is that when your body becomes acidic, it creates an environment conducive to the development of many diseases. I don't know about acidic. Like, I know the sugar is bad for you, for 100%. But, like, because there's acid in there? I mean, there is acid in there, right? It's not even the taste. It's just, I literally just feel like the weird thing is, I like remember the whole sleeping issues. It's that I was telling you guys about. Guess what? 6 Red Bulls later, I went to sleep like I was drinking Red Bull, half an hour before I went to bed, and then I like slept maybe the best sleep I've had in a while. So I'm like, man, maybe it's like the caffeine doesn't even do anything. Like, well, it obviously does something, but it's like, holy crap, why is it not working the way it's supposed to? Caffeine tolerance? No, remember Wolfgang? I didn't drink coffee for like 4 days, and it didn't help. Like I didn't drink coffee and I couldn't sleep. I guess maybe it was like because you gotta wait longer, but our body's tissues and blood are alkaline. The problem is when you invert the scale and make your body acidic. I don't know, man. The playlist person says, "Yo, what's popping, my man?" Not a whole lot. Just chilling. Just chilling. Just commenting. I drink Irish whiskey and brandy. Yeah. Yeah. I I just, yeah. I do enjoy a drink once in a while. I haven't been drinking though, like on the regular for a while now. There's a narrow range around pH 7 neutral, and our body has buffer systems that make sure we don't get too acidic or alkaline, at least in the blood. Yeah, I think he means like if you're doing like Red Bull all day for instead of water, you're gonna have suffer some constant. But I think if obviously, yeah, you shouldn't do it. It's bad. But then like I said, it's not that I felt better while I'm drinking. I'm saying like my sleep improved. Like that's the weird thing. As I started drinking Red Bulls, and I'm like, I've never had better sleep. It's even said to help you fall asleep if you drink a cup of coffee shortly before going. Bro, but some people will like that's true, but some people like they'll be wired for like 3 days if they drink coffee before bed. You know what I mean? Like, and like I did drink coffee, and some, you know. I guess we're all different. Enough so that like now I'm thirsty. Your creatures look like D&D monsters. Moderation team, get. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say we gotta ban this person. They do not look like D&D characters. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just doodling today. I'm just gonna do. I've been kind of just doodling. I haven't really been trying to go for a piece. We're doing a full piece for a while. I've been kind of just sketching. Dungeons and Dragons, yes. No, I'd take no offense. I mean, I like Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played it, but I have friends who have. And they seem like they're decent people, so can't be that bad, right? The last movie was funny. Um, the dungeon. I didn't watch the Dungeons and Dragons movies, to be honest. I I always loved chugging coffee and then taking a nap for 8 hours. I mean, if you chug a caffeine beverage, you rile up your brain and then you can easily crash, I imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I was sitting here working on my I kept drinking Red Bull as I was working, and then I felt sleepy, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go lay down. Then I had the best nap ever. He looks full of energy and ready to take action. Oh, this guy? Like Homer, he loves drinking margaritas before bed because he wakes up drunk that way. Yeah. It's I think it's all like kind of random based on your system. Like some people obviously alcohol usually puts most people to sleep, but I've had people tell me that it like wakes them up, drinking like alcohol like they kind of wake back up a little bit. I guess it's like the carbs and I don't know. I have no idea. It's always put me to sleep, but I have myself experienced the caffeine or the caffeine, and then I like want to go to sleep after I drink it. Like I've definitely had that. You fall asleep quickly, but the sleep is light and short. Right. True. Sleep is one of God's best inventions. Yeah. I do enjoy it. I love how I feel like when I first wake up and I know it's been like I'm like well rested. It's the best feeling ever. Augustus says I don't like this modern craze where everything is secretly a poison. Yeah, me too. I hate that. But in the case of energy drinks, it's truly insane. One sip alters the acidity of a gallon of water. True. Nap after coffee is great if you fall asleep before coffee kicks in. It gives you a refreshing feeling, gives you a... yeah. I swear, like, it's not, it's like it kicks in, but it kicks in the opposite, like, it wakes me up. Oh, sorry, it, like, puts me to sleep sometimes. Guess this guy came out kind of interesting. I think the pencil's a little too dark. It's like I tried to buff it out, but it's like I think it was like the pencil was just a tad too dark, and it kind of created issues around that. Water food sleep is one of God's inventions. Nice. Thank you. Guys, I'm at 3 hours. I'm at 3 hours. I think I'm gonna go for today. Had fun sketching with you. Hope y'all come back tomorrow or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I gotta get back to work. I can only do 3-hour streams, and I gotta go back to work. Ing. I don't even get to make my game. I only work on a game like 30 minutes this morning, and that's about all I did. And then I worked, and then I do the stream. Now back to work, and then maybe. To be fair, I did play Helldivers. I did kill a lot of time with Helldivers. Have a great night, man. All the best. Yeah, don't poison yourself, Augustus, and stay out of trouble, everyone. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and all that. And I'll be back at some point. Have a nice one. Thank you, visually. Yeah, you guys have a great one.